Okay guys, real quick one. Part of my project delay was trying to decide how I was going to move forward with my LS swap oil pan. This is your factory truck oil pan. My previous engine location, I had no clearance issues whatsoever because my engine sits higher than normal, close to 5/8 of an inch between the bottom of the pan and the bottom of the cross member. But since I'm getting ready to lower the engine, I was really gambling that the oil pan would still be equal to the bottom of the cross member, or possibly up to 1/4 of an inch below the cross member, which is absolutely dangerous on a lowered S10. So I was really kind of worried, is this really going to be the right thing to do? Started calling around trying to find somebody locally who would be able to tackle sectioning this sump about 1.5 inches and doing the weld up your truck pan routine. I couldn't find anybody in the Kansas City area who 100% felt like this was a good idea. And even I tried to explain to them, hey, there's a lot of people online, YouTube, etc., that have sectioned the truck oil pans and they're using them. The problem was most of the places I talked to, they said they have no problem welding aluminum, but that it's not virgin aluminum and it's been in service. It's going to be a nightmare to try to weld it and guarantee I'm not going to have any leaks because of the oil leaching or wicking problem. I said, okay. Let me do some more research, see what I can do. Because, I was even tempted to take this and have it thermally cleaned or whatever I'd need to do to try to make it easier to weld. Well, then my friend Richard was like, hey, check out the specs on the GM muscle car pan. They're not much shorter than the truck pans, But I was kind of looking at the drawing he had sent me, and I was like, well, let me do a little more research. Because of the way my engine is installed, I'm truly in the position where maybe that GM muscle car pan, I think it's part number 19212-593, I believe. It's like a kit. You get the pan, the windage tray, the bolts, the pan gasket, dipstick tube, everything, everything. I found it at Speedway Motors for $200.99 free shipping. So I got to looking and studying. I was looking at what the Speedway Motors listed the dimensions. I went on the GM website, looked at their dimensions, which is different than what Speedway says. So I'm kind of operating on the assumption that GM probably knows more about the oil pan dimensions than Speedway, since they're the ones who created it. Basically what I'm looking at, I went ahead and ordered the GM muscle car pan from Speedway. Could be here as early as Wednesday, which is 2 days from now, or it could be Thursday, but generally Speedway to our area only takes 2 days. So I'm going to get this new pan in. I can verify side by side. Basically what I would be gaining is about 5/8 of an inch clearance. So since I'm lowering the engine about 5/8 to 11/16 of an inch, if I go to a shorter pan, I should be at the clearance I had before or equal with the cross member, worst case scenario. I hope that all kind of made sense to you. Because I am above the cross member now, when I bring that motor down with the new engine mounts, I feel like going to that muscle car pan, even though it's only slightly shorter, like I want to say it goes from maximum sump depth on the truck pan is 8 inches, and I want to say it's like 8 inches, 360 thousandths or something like that. And the depth on that muscle car pan, there's 2 different measurements listed. It's somewhere between 7.5 and 8 inches. All right, so the GM website says the maximum depth of that pan is 7.74 inches. All right, 7.74 up to 8.36-ish. That's a solid 5/8 of an inch shorter. So I'm like, okay. I said, let's order the muscle car pan. I think it's going to work perfect in my application as long as the GM measurements are correct. So hopefully, fingers crossed, with those 2/8 frame stands still in the vehicle, I can use the new engine mount setup I created, lower that engine, you know. It's on paper 5/8 of an inch, but I bet you it's closer to 11/16 by the time the bolt sets in the holes and everything settles in. So that is my little quick vid on another reason why I am delayed. I'm trying to get this stupid engine put back together, and it's just driving me crazy. So anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Please stick with me. Things are going to start ramping up really quick in the next week or so, because as these parts start rolling in, this engine's going to be together, and we can start moving towards, you know, getting the transmission ready and getting everything put in. So fingers crossed. We went from having a flash snowstorm this morning to, in the next 3.5, 4 days, we should be up to 75 degrees. So welcome to the Midwest. Keep watching, guys. Like, subscribe, and share.